I want you to hit me as hard as you can.
In June of 2016, JoBlo.com was invited to the set of Zack Snyder's Justice League to check out what Warner Brothers had in store for audiences with the next cinematic chapter of the DC Extended Universe. We learned a lot from that visit about what we could expect to see in terms of scope, tone, and story, and now that the new trailer for Justice League is here, we're putting all the pieces together to build the most extensive look at DC's latest. Join us as we break down everything from the trailer, as well as offer up some behind-the-scenes info that'll prepare you for what's to come in Justice League. While Man of Steel kicked off the DCEU, Batman v Superman Dawn of Justice brought it into a bold and somber direction. The end result divided fans, with Suicide Squad adding fuel to the divisive fire. Warner Brothers has been taking notes, with Justice League poised to lighten up what most consider to be a dark and drab world. This was no more evidence than with Warner Brothers' Comic-Con teaser for Justice League. Set to the sounds of the White Stripes, this teaser gave audiences more lighthearted interactions between DC's heroes. This teaser not only excited fans for what was to come with Justice League, but also prepared them for the tone of the film, which is carried over into the new trailer. With that said, let's take a look. The opening shots featuring Ben Affleck's Bruce Wayne on horseback are almost reminiscent of The Empire Strikes Back, where our heroes spent some time on the ice planet Hoth. Here we can see Bruce overlooking a small fishing village as he's searching for Jason Momoa's Arthur Curry, aka Aquaman. He talks of an attack coming, and given the events of Batman v Superman, there's no question that he wants to be prepared for whatever's next. Joe Morton plays Dr. Silas Stone, who we saw briefly in those video files that Batman sent Wonder Woman in Dawn of Justice. We briefly see the appearance of what's known as a mother box. Now, these mother boxes are looked at as almost a type of living supercomputer with extraordinary powers. Dr. Stone used one to save his son Victor and turn him into Cyborg. However, someone else is seeking the mother boxes, Darkseid. This creature in the background may look familiar, as we saw a lot of them in the nightmare vision Bruce Wayne had in Dawn of Justice. They're called parademons, and they're creatures from the planet Apocalypse who do the bidding of Darkseid. Think Thanos, but of the DC universe. Or, that big purple guy in the floaty chair. On the set visit, we learned that the story of Justice League would involve his hunt for 3 mother boxes, one hidden on Earth, one with the Amazons, and another with the Atlanteans. While it's currently unknown if we'll actually get to see Darkseid in the film, his uncle, Steppenwolf, will be one of the major bad guys. You can see a glimpse of him in a deleted scene from Batman v Superman, but he'll be played by Kieran Hines in Justice League. While we're at it, it's also been confirmed that Lex Luthor will play a role in the film too. While Justice League follows Bruce Wayne as he tries to assemble a team of heroes, we see here that Gal Gadot's Wonder Woman is taking an active interest as well. I'm willing to bet she'll uncover something about these mother boxes, or maybe even encounter the parademons before helping out Bruce on his mission. The White Stripes, the hardest button to button, plays, re-establishing that tone set in the Comic-Con teaser. This obviously helps to sell the film's fun, rock and roll attitude. Again, another sign that they're straying from what people identified most about BVS, its dreary mood. Here's a great money shot of Aquaman, almost as wet as all the ladies watching him on opening night. Jason Momoa's portrayal of Aquaman is already being pegged as a fan favorite, and it's easy to see why in scenes like this. He's playing somewhat of an anti-hero that audiences love to watch, the Wolverine of the Justice League, if you will. Here he saves a civilian's life, but isn't beyond leaving him with the tab. Cyborg is an interesting character, if only because we know the least about him in the DCEU. Given his brief interaction here, he almost seems like a mix of Iron Man and Captain America. Fancy suit, and good morals to boot. This is a truncated scene from the Comic-Con teaser in which Bruce Wayne meets Ezra Miller's Barry Allen, aka The Flash. Ezra looks like he's really going to inject some youthful sensibilities into the film, which should be fun to see play off the other characters. No DC trailer would be complete without a few money shots of the Batman in action. His scenes towards the end of Dawn of Justice are considered some of the most well-shot comic book action scenes committed to film, and for good reason. It's Batman in full-on beatdown mode, reminiscent of those fantastic Arkham games. The Dark Knight takes down some parademons in what looks to be one of their bases. Here we get a decent hero shot of most of the Justice League, with the Flash geeking out about it. Again, his character will be a great way to bring some self-awareness into the film and let the audience know that they're not the only ones finding the humor, fun, or ridiculousness of any given situation. A modern rock and roll take on the Beatles' Come Together starts up, cueing us in on the action about to take place. Any fan of Zack Snyder's 300 should feel right at home with this shot of Aquaman getting ready to impale 2 parademons in slow motion. Not to be outdone, Wonder Woman is seen here as the gorgeous and kick-ass heroine that she is, and I'd personally like to thank Snyder for this shot. I mean, it's a stunt double, a stunt butt, but I'm not complaining. Why she's beating up museum guards is anyone's guess, but I'll take it. Cue epic hair flip. I mentioned that Cyborg was reminiscent of Iron Man, and that comparison is very prevalent in this shot where he dons a mask that actually looks more like Deadshot's and flies up into the stratosphere. The Flash once again shows off his amazing speed skills in a real-time shot, taking down this baddie with ease.
What are your superpowers again?
I'm rich.
This exchange is a great nod to those who tend to knock Batman because he doesn't have any superpowers. And also a great way to show the audience how self-aware Bruce Wayne in this movie is, and to inject some fun into the proceedings. Again, it looks like Snyder and company are really aiming to nail the interactions between the heroes of the film. And to follow up on that quip, Bruce Wayne takes down some bad guys in what's known as the Nightcrawler, a vehicle that was actually created by his father that will play a pivotal role in this tunnel scene. Given that Justice League will be our introduction to Victor Stone before he became Cyborg, I expect we might see a few flashbacks like this to help set up the hero he becomes. This was obviously before he became mangled in an accident and his father stepped in with a mother box to save him. Now this is kind of a surprising shot of Lois Lane, given that Superman doesn't make any appearance in this trailer. Of course, his return is no spoiler by any means, given the end of Batman v Superman and the fact that we've seen the Man of Steel in promotional art for Justice League. How he returns exactly is still a bit of a mystery, but it'll definitely be later on in the film. It also brings to mind the Flash's warning to Bruce in BVS. Whether or not she's the key in Justice League is anyone's guess, but I imagine at the very least, more will be revealed about that possible future. Amber Heard's Mara, Queen of Atlantis, will be introduced in Justice League before she plays a much larger role in next year's Aquaman film. We can see her and a few Atlanteans in the background, and if you look back in the right-hand side, there's one of the mother boxes. Speaking of side characters, it looks like we'll also get a brief moment with Barry Allen's father, Henry, played by Billy Crudup. Snyder fans may recognize him as Dr. Manhattan from The Watchmen. Now here's a massive Lord of the Rings-esque battle, in which we see some Amazons fighting the parademons. Batman's upgraded Batmobile is outfitted with cannons, which will no doubt prove useful in taking out parademons. Fortunately for Bats, Wonder Woman is nice enough to clear off his windshield here. And this is the reaction that Cyborg will have if audiences don't like him. A quick shot of Aquaman shows him dodging a projectile underwater. While we don't really see too much of the Flash in slow motion, given Snyder's penchant for it, I'd say this is probably just the tip of the iceberg. Here's what's guaranteed to be one of many shots of part of our Justice League forming up together and what looks to be the Parademons base. And we're finally introduced to J.K. Simmons, Commissioner Gordon, rocking a mustache that's actually really reminiscent of the animated series.
Well with others again. Just like a bat. I dig it. Maybe temporary.
Again, there are some great exchanges between our heroes here that'll probably be worth the price of admission just to see how they play out. The shot of Aquaman on the Batmobile is a lot of fun, and really helps to sell the rock star that is his character in this film, even if he does sound like Jack Black. Anywho, he leaps off into a group of parademons and seems to be carried off, and what follows appears to be Cyborg in pursuit. And that's it for the Justice League trailer. As noted, Warner Brothers is really aiming to sell it as a kind of fun rock and roll adventure. Fans remain cautiously optimistic, as always, but we'll know for sure how the end product fares once it hits theaters on November 17th. In the meantime, you can visit us at JoBlo.com for the latest news, reviews, and exclusives on all things film related. Until next time, take care.
You're still here. It's over. Go home. You expecting Sam Jackson show up with an eye patch and a saucy little leather number? Go.